Hi, and welcome to this live reading from the Fire God Tour by Michele Sims, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue. Just keep pushing. Bella Elia Wahlberg reminded herself for the 10th time as she rushed around her bedroom trying to get ready for her teleconference with Mr. Hansen, the new vice president of international marketing at World Music LLC. She had completed a fellowship with the company 3 months earlier, and her parting with the organization had been less than amiable. What could he tell me at this point? She huffed and furrowed her brows, dissatisfied with her reflection in the mirror. She rubbed her fingers along the crescent-shaped shadows under her brown eyes and felt a lack of the usual smoothness. Before pulling the thick locks of her auburn-colored hair back in a tight bun, she examined the ends of her ponytail, which could use a much-needed trim. "Watch the frown lines, Bella." Her mother's voice echoed in her head, and the fact she had to remind herself on a daily basis to smile at work provided a snapshot of her life for the past 6 months. She knew she had spent too many long days and late nights preparing for Ari Moore's upcoming International Fire God Tour, and her life lacked balance. "I have to prove I can do my job, and there's nothing a little concealer can't hide," she assured herself as she smoothed the loose strands of hair and applied the finishing touches of her makeup. The starched white shirt and black pencil skirt were hanging on the door of her closet as she walked across the room and shimmied into her outfit for the day, ready for battle in the male-dominated music industry in Los Angeles. Working at home was a luxury for her as a marketing consultant for Ari Moore's entertainment company, Ari Music. Even though her family's modest and recently renovated early 20th century craftsman-style home was not as plush as the mansion Ari Moore had converted into the studio home of his growing entertainment empire, she liked that she could get things done at home with minimal interruptions. Her phone rang, and she saw Darian Grayson's smiling face on the screen. He was Ari's executive assistant. She answered the call on speaker. "Good morning, Darian." Her voice was less than enthusiastic. "And a good morning to you too, Bella. Did we not get a good night's rest last night?" He said it with mirth, but she wasn't amused. "What's a good night's sleep, Darian? I don't think I've had one since I became a consultant for Ari Moore." "Ari can be a taskmaster, but his bark is worse than his bite. You'll figure that out soon enough, and I'm not sure why you're not calling him Miles at this point." "We don't have that kind of relationship, and calling him Ari is a reminder to use his stage name when we're out in the public." She slipped on her matching black leather pumps. "Have it your way, but the reason I'm calling so early is to let you know that you and Ari have a packed schedule today. The radio stations have confirmed the time for the interviews you requested, and the local nightclub owners are thrilled you convinced Ari to agree to more meet and greets. I'm not sure how you did it. He hates a packed schedule." She rolled her eyes as he spoke. Ari had told her 1,000 times he didn't want every minute of his day planned with one obligation after another. Her mind wandered as she thought of the number of engagements she had to attend with him. And Reagan, she tuned at the mention of Reagan Madison's name, the lead dancer at Ari Music and one of her favorites, well, her only gal pal. What about Reagan? "Are you listening, Bella?" "Yes, Darian," she sighed. "I was about to say Reagan wanted me to remind you that your girl time with her is over dinner at 7 o'clock tonight. You've been working hard, Bella, and you need to take a break." She blew out a breath of air instead of protesting. She knew he was right again. "Again, I don't know how you arranged the coup, but Ari has agreed to give Reagan an audition as a lead singer for a group he is considering forming after they return from the tour. Bella, your girl Reagan is a great dancer, but that doesn't mean she can handle a mic." "Darian, I've heard her sing many times, and I think she can handle a mic. All she needs is a chance. Besides, I need to pay it forward because even though I have the training, I lacked the experience of a seasoned marketing consultant, and I know if it wasn't for you, his trusted assistant," she smiled as he cleared his throat, "and Parker, using his influence as the CFO, Ari wouldn't have given me a chance." "No problem, Bella. Parker told me you've exceeded his expectations, and your wonderful mother, Chief Wahlberg, also put in a good word for you. Having you around, girl, has made my life bearable as we prepare for this world tour. Someone needed to convince Miles that if we continued our expansion in the music industry, we needed to run a tighter organization with schedules and more structure. Speaking of structure, have you returned Scott Hansen's call, Mr. Uptight himself?" Bella looked at the time on her cell phone as she walked down the hallway and into the room at the end of the hall that her mother had turned into a home office, with modern gray painted walls accented with white trim and filled with sleek furniture. Bella especially liked the modern look of the pewter and steel light fixtures and accessories on her desk. She took in a breath and sat down in her chair in front of the camera on her computer. I have a teleconference with him in a few minutes, but before you go, have you finished compiling the list of all the VIP and press passes for airy music that are floating around this city? I know many of the members of the press corps who cover musicians, and I only recognized a few of the names on the list you gave me. Yes, I sent you the completed list that Bradley and Security gave me, and I looked at it before sending it to you. Many of the names were Miles' former girlfriends or associates. I'll tell Bradley to tighten up the list before we launch the tour. Bradley has enough to do, and I wanted to go over the list so that only members of the press will have press passes for the tour. I'll run it by Ari before I request that Bradley disarm the passes of those who are not members of the press, and limit the number of VIPs who are allowed backstage. Bella, I'm telling you this as a friend. I think you should stay in your lane with the passes, which have been a sticky situation for his former press agents. There are women on the list who feel they deserve an all-access pass to Ari, and he's allowed it. They're his Uber fans, and some of them are scary. Consider me warned. I have to take this meeting. Bye, Darian, and thanks. Bye, Bella, and good luck. She ended the phone call with Darian and activated the hookup on her computer, which was buzzing to begin the conference with the VP at World Music. The computer screen lit up with the image of one of the receptionists she knew from her time there. Good morning, Brianna. I have a teleconference with Mr. Hansen. Good morning, Bella. We really miss you around here, and someone asks me almost every week when was the last time I heard from you. She pouted while arranging her headset over her ears. I miss seeing you too, Brianna, and tell the team I said hello. I will. Mr. Hansen is expecting your call. Hold on as I prepare to transfer you to his office. The screen went blank for a few seconds, followed by a view of an office with a large mahogany desk and a gold nameplate with the name Scott Hansen, VP of Global Marketing, etched on it. She assumed the unfamiliar, tall, distinguished man seated behind the desk, unbuttoning his shirt and loosening his tie, was him. Good morning, Miss Wahlberg. I'm Scott Hansen. You're one busy person, and I didn't realize it would be so difficult to catch up with you. I guess I should have had my people contact your people, but I wanted us to talk on a personal, friendly note. He chuckled as Bella placed her hands on her lap and sat straight with confidence before replying to him. Good morning, Mr. Hansen. Call me Scott. He widened his smile and leaned into the camera. Okay, I'm Bella. She forced a smile. I've been very busy, and I didn't recognize your name on my caller ID. Have we met before? She leaned in a little for a closer view of his face. No, we haven't. During your time here at World Music, they assigned me overseas to head our expansion into the European and Asian markets. I understand that you worked under Brett Watkins, the Director of New Employee Development for the Marketing Fellowship. Yes, that's correct, she responded with a slight tilt of her head. It's a great program, and I heard your presentations were excellent, but let me get right to the point. The artists on the team you promoted weren't pleased with the marketing plans that Michael Monroe came up with after you left, and many of them have told me they liked your ideas better. There are rumors that they gave Michael the position as team leader on the project instead of you because his father is the Director of Marketing, West Coast Division. Bella's lips tightened and her posture stiffened. What? Nepotism and sexism in world music? It can't be so. Her sarcasm didn't lessen the heavy weight of hurt and disappointment that had settled in the pit of her stomach. She placed her hand against her belly and applied light pressure as she looked down and pursed her lips. Sir, I'm not sure what this has to do with me at this point. You're aware I'm no longer affiliated with world music. Let me see where he's going with this. She relaxed her posture. Bella, I wasn't in this position at the time they made those decisions, but I want to make things right. I've done my homework, and is it true you're a consultant with the startup record company Airy Music? Yes, but hear me out. I'm offering you a full-time position with my organization, a world-class entertainment conglomerate, and I'll match any offer Airy Music proposes to keep you. Bella sat back and crossed her legs as she pondered his offer. So, Mr. Hansen, Scott, let me understand this. You said that you did your homework, so you're aware that Michael and I were assigned to the same marketing team, where he took credit for my ideas and got the position I worked hard for, and now you want me to consider accepting a position at World Music. Bella, again, That's in the past, and yes, I would like you to come and work with us at World. I want to assign you to work with some of our artists, like Young Rob, and there are several others who want to work with you again. But here's the full disclosure. Bella focused her attention on the screen, avoiding the chance of a dismissive eye roll. We have a delicate situation here. For the time being, I need to assign you to Michael's team. She tightened her grip on the arms of her chair as she saw his Adam's apple moving in a hard swallow. But you'll answer to me during the transition, and I'll approve all of your performance appraisals until you're transferred to another team. Of course, we'll need you to sign a contract with a non-compete clause if you leave. We can't risk having you take our information or procedures to competitors. You didn't by any chance sign a non-compete while you were here, did you? No, I didn't. Scott, I've done my homework too, and I understand that there are several lawsuits against the marketing department for its numerous cases of bias in its hiring practices. You don't have to worry about me joining in a class action suit, although someone has approached me about it. Second, I already work with several of the artists that left World Music and have recently signed with Area Music, which is more than a startup. Thanks for the offer, but I plan to stay where I am. Bella, you're new to this industry, and your decision is either a boss move or is ill-advised, if I may offer my professional opinion. The music industry out here is interesting. I can only make this offer to you once, and if you refuse, I must take you out of my contacts. I would hate that later on in your career you discover you've made a mistake. Here we go. We're leaving ultimatum and heading to threat level 1. Scott, I think we both like to minimize mistakes, but she took in a breath to slow down the accelerating beats of her heart and to let the pause in her statement emphasize what she was about to say. Do it. She looked directly into the camera. Let's be clear and careful about this, Bella. Do what? He leaned to the side and waited. Remove my name from your contacts. Undeterred, she stuck out her chest out. Her decision was made. Viewing his image on the screen, she saw his jaw drop and his eyes blink as if the weight of her words were an affront to what he thought was sensible. All right, Bella, but in this town, our decisions have consequences. His fake smile was a thin veil, covering the possibilities of his not-so-subtle intent. Goodbye, Bella. Goodbye, Scott. She hit the power button on the computer, and the screen faded to black as she folded her arms and processed her thoughts about the meeting. So I'm supposed to work like a dog, and then accept the scraps from the table as a reward? Not today, dude. Not today. Her phone buzzed with an alert of her next appointment. Just enough time to freshen up before I meet Ari at the studio for an interview this morning. Startup? Scott, you haven't seen what I plan to accomplish at Area Music. She rose from her chair, invigorated that she had made the right choice, and ready for the day's adventures.